We are at the point in the Unbridled Excellence series where we're going to be talking about how to really understand your horse. We've talked about the horses being such an important part of the session and being a equal partner in this business and in the coaching with your client. And that all sounds great. But if you don't speak horse, how do you know what your horse is saying? How do you know your horse, the wisdom or the guidance, or how do you know when your horse is taking the lead? And yes, the intuition and the empathy and the energy all play a part in this. But today what we want to talk about is really understanding how your horse communicates and really recognizing the contributions and the wisdom and the guidance that they are offering in the moment to moment within the session. This is a topic that we go very in depth with in the course. So we're just going to talk surface level here because like I said, we spent a lot of time in the course going over those things so that by the time you are seeing clients, you are fluent in horse, if you will, and are understanding how to be a better partner with your horse because you're understanding what the horse is conveying to you throughout the session.
This is one of my favorite things about working with the horses is just horse language, right? What is that? What does that look like? How do we communicate with the horses? What do we look for? The horse can communicate in so many different ways. So really learning to understand what that is through their body language. How are they holding themselves? What are they doing with their ears? Are they moving their lips around? Are they moving their head around? Are they moving close to the client? Are they moving away from the client? So their overall presence, right? And just learning to be able to read that, to decipher it. What do they mean? What are they doing? Where's their energy feel? Are the horses walking away from the client? Are they coming towards them? When you can learn to tune in to what your horse is doing and read the client's body language as well, there's a lot of hidden messages within that. And it's so neat the things that come up. And it's I wish I could totally understand, because sometimes we have to just try to not understand and just accept because the amazing experiences that come up, we almost can't make sense of them. The horses will do the craziest things. They'll walk away from a client, and it's your horse that loves everybody, is always right near everybody. And what'll come up for the client is a feeling of, I'm not loved, I'm not wanted, right? You can't bring that up in a therapy session, but the horse will feel that from them. So they'll intentionally do something until the client recognizes and honors it. And then the horse will come right back to them. Oh, no, you are loved. I just needed you to recognize that. So being able to interpret these little signs and stuff that they do like that, that's what brings that magic back in. You keep hearing us talk about the word magic, and it's truly what brings that back in. Um, and it's so important to be able to recognize the significant moves that the horses make, because that's what makes your session, being able to interpret that or just allow it to happen. Sometimes we can't even interpret it, right? But we can learn to allow it. We don't force the horse to come over to the client because there's a reason they're not. And when we can learn to trust that, there's a beautiful session that I had with a client one time. He had never been around horses. He walked in the stall and the horse walked away from him. And I just stood there, and he kept trying to go back over to the horse, and the horse kept walking away from him. And when I invited him to look inside himself to what was coming up, he turned around and he looked at me and he said, rejection. And that was something he had never felt in his life, and he didn't realize he had a fear of being rejected. That never would have come up if I would have tried to get the horse to come to him. The minute he said that, the horse walked right over to him. It was as if she knew that that's what this client needed, right? So we cover so much throughout the whole course. This is something we touch on during almost, I think, every single week, except maybe the business part, is that connection with the horses and being able to read their communications, what they bring to the session, the wisdom that they have. So this one gets me excited. I could sit here and tell stories all day long about this one, but I don't want to take up all your time. So,
And, you're talking a lot about, you shared a lot, Janice, about how the horses move and how they interact or don't interact in the case. It's really great to understand that. One of the things too that sets the program apart is we really advocate throughout our training and our program to allow the horses to be fully self-expressive. And sometimes this goes counter to what we might learn through a horsemanship course, or we might learn from our trainer. If we're, so we talk a lot about the differences between equine assisted coaching and some of perhaps the things that you've learned in horsemanship, for those of you that have taken those classes. And it's by letting go some of those things and allowing the horse to fully express themselves within measures of safety. This is key. And we have a whole section on horse safety that we take everybody through. But that's one of the elements of the program that is really fascinating. And I'll let you in on a little bit of secret, on a little secret. The horse may make the same move in 2 different sessions with a client. It might be licking his lips in one session, in sessions with a client. You know what the fascinating part is, though? A lot of times it means different things in different sessions. So it's not just, well, if the horse does this, it means this. This is where that intuition, this is where reading the energy, this is where being in tune with your client and all of that come into play, because you're going to recognize. And so we, like Dennis mentioned, we do spend a lot of time in that. And this is why our approach to helping you understand that is pivotal. It's not that somebody can't have a great experience with a horse. Just for a lot of us, just simply being by a horse, right? Our heart rate lowers, our nervous system relaxes, all of those things happen. But when you can go beyond that and really understand the communication and the connection that is happening beyond that layer, that's where the depth of the work that we do through the Freedom Way program really shows itself, and it really excels within that space.
it is, and being able to, there's a sense of synergy, right, between the 3, the coach, the client, and the horse. And when you can establish that relationship, all 3 are reading off each other at the same time. The client's feeling from the horse, the client's feeling from you. You're feeling the horse and the client. The horse is feeling both of you. The horse will turn around and sometimes look at you, or sometimes ignore you. My horse will ignore me and push me out of the way, like, I got this for a minute, you need to get away. So really being aware of the trio of all 3 that are in the pen with the horse, and where the energy is going. Who's it on? Where's it coming from? What's happening within that? It's so amazing to be a part of, and learning to be able to read in between all 3. It's really cool, and it's so important that you establish that, right? And that you're able to understand and read what's going on within yourself, within your client, and within the horse.
And what that really does is that builds a level of trust and connection within the session. Why is that important? To be able to help create the space that your client needs for the transformation that they're seeking. There is a deep level of trust that is necessary to do that. For them to be able to open up and be as authentic and as real, that requires that. And so when you create that synergy, when you're able to bring in the horse communication and share with the client what the horse is sensing, saying, feeling, what you're picking up, or even ask the client. Sometimes, you know, a lot of times in the class, in a session, I'll say, you know, the horse is again licking and chewing, and they'll notice that, and they'll ask, what does that mean? And I'll say, what does that mean to you? It's not necessarily my interpretation, it's what the client pulls out of that, and that is always pivotal in the session. So by building that trust and connection with the client that way, you allow them to go to those deeper parts of where they are ready to go and to heal and transform. The other thing is you're building trust with your horse. Your horse knows that you respect the job that they are doing. Your horse knows that you trust them to do whatever it takes. And you build that trust over time with your horse. And it's amazing. Janice talked about that relationship with her horses. You know, all coaches have that with their horses, that amazing relationship where you take hands off the reins, so to speak, and let the horse lead the session for a bit, or the whole time. Sometimes that happens the whole time. And that horse trusts that you're going to play the role and you're going to support them through that. Sometimes, you know, we are the translator in that horse communication piece. So when you really learn and practice, and this isn't something, you know, honestly, this is something that is going to be a continual learning process, and it may even be slightly different with each horse that you work with. And that's the fun of exploring this and being curious about that connection with each individual horse. But when you have that and you build that over time, this brings greater depth, greater understanding, and creates more positive outcomes for your clients because of this ability, this place that you build within the session to really allow that horse communication to flow and have a great impact.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things, Diana, that I love most about what we do. Somebody asked me what I do. One of my answers is create safety, right? There's a level of creating a safe space, and a horse has an ability to do it naturally. And when you can create that kind of a sacred, it's a sacred space. And when you can create that kind of a sacred space for your client, for your horse, for yourself, there's amazing healing that takes place. And that's the passion that Diane and I feel in doing this work. This is what we want. Oh, this is what we want to share with you guys. This is what we want to teach you guys. This is the experience we want to help you have, is feeling the passion of being able to create this for another human being and being able to share the horses with the rest of the world. Because we live in a world right now that needs healed. And this is an amazing, incredible way to offer support for people to do that.
So what we've been talking about today is really an extension of seeing the horse as an equal partner. Because this is recognizing that how the horse contributes to the session. This is understanding what that is. And I continually am amazed at what happens within this space. When I receive the feedback, when I watch my horses do things, you know, like Janice said, I've had similar things with clients, you know, friendly horses, the horse won't meet you, but as soon as you walk in, they leave. You know, there's no louder communication. The client may not know that that's not normal, but you know that that's not normal. You know something's up, and that helps tune you in. And so a big part of our program, in fact, nearly in every topic that we cover up until the business week, there is an aspect of this horse communication and understanding how the horse communicates, how they guide, how they lead, how they add wisdom, how they help create that transformation in this space. And that, I think, is something that really sets our program apart, because we emphasize really truly understanding this, and therefore really truly creating an amazing partnership with your horse. If you know in your heart that this is something you want to do, maybe it's even more of a knowing. Maybe it's kind of even like a nagging. It's that thought that won't go away. When you think about it, your heart just fills and gets so excited. Janice and I would encourage you to take a look at our level 1 program, to put that desire into action. This is a fast growing field, but more so than that, this is a field that is making amazing changes in the world. And if you want to be part of that change and you want to do it with horses, this is the perfect opportunity. So our next level 1 class begins February 7th. It's a 4-month course. You can learn more about the course online on our website. I will share everything that everything that is contained in the course, as well as 2 bonuses that we'd like to offer you. These bonuses are good. These bonuses are a great way to amplify your experience going through the class. And the first bonus is a 1-year subscription to the Freedom Way Book Club, where every other week we meet and we're reading books that are pertinent to this industry, to coaching, to horses, to our learning, to personal growth and development. And I'm loving it. And not only am I reading some really amazing books, I'm having some incredible conversations every other week with other people in the group, just learning different perspectives and really expounding on the information I'm reading in the book. And I love that. So you get a 1-year subscription to that. The other bonus is, we see this time and time again. When you finish a course, you're super excited to go out and begin applying this and practicing it and seeing, in this case, seeing clients. And so Janice and I really want to give you that leg up. And so we're offering you a 1-month mentoring program where you work one-on-one with Janice and myself in your business to get things set up, to get things taken care of, to get the ball rolling, to help you step out into the world in the way that the world is ready to greet you with. Both of those bonuses are over $500 in value, so that adds a tremendous amount to what you already get in the program. So be sure to go out to the website. If you have any questions, give us a call. If it's something you really want to investigate, I encourage you to go out and fill out the student application. That's on the website. Once that's filled out, Janice and I will be in touch with you, and then we'll get to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation and really get to know each other better and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you for joining us for this series. It has been a lot of fun to put together, and we hope that you have learned more about the Freedom Way, learned more about some of the key elements that we feel are really important in creating a successful and sustainable equine assisted coaching practice.
You know, Diane and I appreciate you being on this journey with us. And these are just highlights of the program that we've shared with you, right? There's so much depth behind each one of these topics. So you just got a little glimpse into what the program is. It's so much more than that. And it's life-changing. We actually had somebody go through the program that isn't currently active in their coaching. They're going to start this at the beginning of next year. But the program was life-changing for them. The tools that they learned, the empowerment that they were able to take and obtain and put to use. This person has told us over and over again that the course was life-changing for them. So we look forward to seeing you in the course and joining us. And like Diana said, if you have any questions, please reach out to either one of us, and we'd be more than happy to spend some time with you and answer any questions you have. And thank you, guys.
Yeah. Come join us. We like to hang out in the stable with horses and meet with amazing people. So hope to see you soon.